I am Dr. Raju, Associate Professor, Department of Sociology, Government College for Women, Mandya, Karnataka. Today, we have organized one-day national webinar on COVID-19 issues and challenges. As all of you know, COVID-19 is affecting not only the human health, but also social, economic, politics, education, and religious life. The COVID-19 pandemic could feel the pulse of people to terms of fear, anxiety, tension, and the problem it has created to human society, particularly the marginalized community. It is continuing to cause interprecedent challenge to our humanity in terms of the public health care, economic stability, politics, and culture. It is now creating critical challenges to our profession. Ever since COVID-19 invaded this globe, people across the world are in fear. The global health pandemic has touched every person's life in some way or other, forcing isolation, uncertainty, anger, and hopelessness. And this, coupled with the economic meltdown, is causing huge psychological distress. The COVID-19 pandemic is a threat to a human society, both for risking human life, ensuring economic distress, and for its invisible emotional strain. The COVID-19 pandemic, many countries have reported an increase in domestic violence and intimate partner violence. Domestic violence and sexual exploitation, which is already an epidemic across the world, spiked when households were placed under the increased strains that come from security, health, and money worries, and cramped as well as confined living conditions. More domestic violence helpline and shelters across the world are reporting rising calls for help. Today, we have two well-known speakers who is going to deliver a lecture on COVID-19, violence against women, and actual, contextual, and virtual empowerment of women by Professor R. Hindira and Professor Rajesh. Professor R. Hindira is one of a popular academician, sociologist, feminist, writer, columnist, and also great social thinker. Professor R. Hindira joined the University of Mysore as a faculty in the Department of Sociology in 1972 and continued to teach and engage in research in the department till her superannuation in the year 2014. More than 30 students had obtained a PhD under her guidance. She built a research culture She is well known for her works on gender issues in forest management, girls' education, building capacities of women in local self-governance institutions. She written several books such as Motherhood Society in India, A Rural Society, Research Methods, Women and Culture, and so on. Professor Indira is currently president of Samruddhi Foundation, a civil society group that she initiated with her family and friends for building capacities of women, research students, and members of civil society. She is a contributor and editor of a subject encyclopedias, dictionaries, journals, theme-based books, and translation projects. Madam, please take over the session, madam.
ಮೇಡಮ್
ಹೇಳಿ
ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀರಾ
ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
Hello, madam. Hello, madam. I request to keep the speaker to near mouth. Okay, madam. Continue, madam. Continue, madam. You please continue, madam.
ಹಲೋ, ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್ ತಮ್ಮದು ವಾಯ್ಸು. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಮೈಕ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
Sorry for the interruption.
Oh. Hello, hello.
Yes, ma'am. It's audible now.
It's audible now, so I'll just keep the phone in my hand and speak.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
Now,
Can you hear
okay
me
madam.
now? Can you also see me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can
Madam,
see you and we can hear you.
Okay. So you didn't hear anything of what I said earlier, the last 5
No,
minutes?
no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll just very quickly say, now there isn't much that I said. Okay. So Elrigu Namaskara and good morning to all my dear colleagues and friends. Kelsa idya iga? Now can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
वही बोला हूँ, कल फोन कर
Kelsa idya alva Raju?
ठीक है दो एक ही किया ना
Shall I go ahead?
आधा कर यस मैडम
Okay. So principal of the college, Dr. Narayan, Dr. Raju, my colleagues, your friends from across the country and also across the globe. In my talk today, I will be bilingual, you know, I'll talk both in English and Kannada and quickly change over because I know there are friends from across the state who will not follow Kannada if I am exclusively talking only in our language. So I will use both. Now, you see, today, when Raju called me and asked me to be a part of this webinar, he said, why not we talk of domestic violence and COVID? Well, I said, I would rather just use the word violence because violence is not just in the form of domestic violence, but it has taken other forms also. Now, COVID-19 as a health hazard, we have read a lot, we have been hearing a lot, its medical implications, etc. So I will not touch that because there is also another session and I would also be happy to take some questions at the end. So I will not go into that. But I want to divide my talk into two sections. One is about the impact that COVID-19 pandemic has had on women in general. And also the second part of my talk is about what we could do to better the conditions of those who have been impacted by the pandemic. So, you know, idu mute ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ mic ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಧ್ವನಿಗಳು. I think you should mute. ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರದ್ದು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಂಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹಾ. ಎಲ್ಲಾರ್ದು ಧ್ವನಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Okay. So I'll begin by saying how when I talk of women, you know, or when any of us talks of men, we don't look at women as a homogeneous category. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸಮರೂಪವಾದ ವರ್ಗ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. Because there are divisions on the basis of caste, class, location, region, etc. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರಲ್ಲಿ Okay, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಹಾ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗೋಗಿತ್ತು ನಂದೂನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. So
Ma'am, it's audible now. Please continue.
Because you know mine was also muted, that's why I'm asking. So women do not constitute a homogeneous category is the first point that I would like to make. Because the forms of violence that women experience also are determined by their socio-economic, cultural, locational background. This is a point that all of us who are talking about gender and COVID-19 have to first realize. And secondly, you know, when I use the word violence, it's not limited just to physical violence only. That is why I told Dr. Raju I would prefer to use the word violence rather than domestic violence only. Because even the word domestic violence, we have to understand, doesn't apply only to wife battering or physical violence that women experience. Violence takes many forms. I'm now moving to another point. When I say violence takes many forms, it is economic, it is related to health, it is related to education, it is related to economic aspects, and finally the opportunities that one has to face such situations. You see, when the pandemic became a serious issue, one solution that the state as well as everybody, all of us, many of us at least, thought of was lockdown. Now, what does lockdown basically mean? It means you stay at home, you stay safe, don't go and meet anybody, don't mix with anybody, you stay in your closed circles. But have we realized how this lockdown itself did not mean the same thing to everybody? Because when you say safe and secure home, do all women and men have a safe, secure home in our society? It's okay for the middle classes. It is okay for those who are wealthy. It's okay for those who are in the comfortable zone. And when you want to talk of women, how many women are not there in our country, in our society, who don't have a roof under which they can stay safely? Violence, of course, is something that cuts across the barriers of caste, class, everything. That is a basic truth all of us know. So when lockdown was imposed, it meant that different groups of women experienced lockdown differently. It was not a one-point solution to the threats that COVID put before us. Keep away in your home. No, that did not happen to everyone. This is something I would like to very clearly clarify. Second, I was talking about home. That is what I said. You see, a woman has moved, let us say, from Bihar or UP or some other state or some other part of India to our city. Or people from within Karnataka who have moved to different cities in our own state. Their conditions are not similar to the conditions of women who are residents of that particular place. Andre, ಉದ್ಯೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಗಾಗಿ ಜೀವನ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಗಾಗಿ ಮೂಲಭೂತವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳಿಂದ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿರುವಂತ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮದೇ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಇತರ ಭಾಗಗಳಿಂದ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿರುವಂತ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಬಹಳ ಒಂದ್ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತವ್ರ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಒಂದೇ ಆಗಿರಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. So when you talk of violence, that is why I said different groups of women experience violence differently. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಗುಂಪುಗಳಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿದ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರು ದೌರ್ಜನ್ಯನ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಎದುರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. See, the exposure to violence differs from one group to another. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಯಾವ ತರ ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವರ, ನಾನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದಂಗೆ, ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವಲಂಬಿಸಿರುತ್ತೆ. Now to quickly run through the forms of violence that women have experienced because of COVID. Now coming back to home, I have already said the home cannot simply be concluded as a safe place for everybody. Now for a large number of women who have in any case been staying at home, who are working at home, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಮ್ ಮೇಕರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಪದ ಬಳಸ್ತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾನ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಅಂತಾನು ಕರೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಐ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೀ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್. ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಗಿನಿಂದ ರಾತ್ರಿವರೆಗೂ ಮಾಡೋ ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗುರುತಿಸುವಿಕೆನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಗೌರವನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಗೋಚರತೆನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವರ್ಕ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಡೂ ಎಟ್ ಹೋಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಟಿಲ್ ನೈಟ್, 20-30 different types of work that large number of women do are neither visible, nor are they recognized, nor are they respected all over. So violence first manifests itself in not recognizing the work that women do at home. COVID ಇರ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ, ಮಹಿಳೆಯರು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡುವ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸದೆ ಇರೋದೇ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಡೆಯೋ ದೌರ್ಜನ್ಯದ ಒಂದು ಮುಖ ಅಂತ ನಾನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಆಸ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಾನ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಅಂತ. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ನಾನ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ವುಮನ್, ಆಲ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಆರ್ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದು ಪೋಸ್ಟರ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೋ ಟ್ರೂ. ಕಮ್ ಟು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್, ಮಹಿಳೆಯರು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡ್ಲಿ, ವೆದರ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್, a large number of them have to saddle all responsibilities at home. ಮನೆಗಳ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಅವರೇ ಮಾಡೋದು. Of course there may be exceptions where they have help, and a large number of domestic helpers are also women. There are families where the men do participate in housework, ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. But the truth and trend is that housework has been a woman's job most of the time. ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೊಸ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಏನಲ್ಲ, IT ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇತ್ತು ಇದು. There is this whole thing about work at home going on. Many establishments have declared that their workers will work from home. Please remember that work at home means different things to men and women. Already there are lots of papers that are coming up, and we also know now kandene namage en gottagta ide andre, for a woman when you say work at home, it does not necessarily mean that she is doing only that office work at home. It's not that physical space has shifted from the office to the house, and so if she's working there for 8 hours, she's also working here for 8 hours. Allah, it is not as simplistic as that. See, many women who are working from home are also saddled with the triple and double burdens of housework. Already this has started. For an establishment, which is employing them, work at home may be the easiest solution. Yakendre, they don't have to pay for their travel, they don't have to give for subsidized lunch, etc., etc. But for many women who are working at home, who are doing their office work at home, there is more pressure on them to attend to domestic chores even during that office time. So ಈಗೇನಾಗಿದೆ, ಕೆಲವು ಆಫೀಸಸ್ ನಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಸಮಾಧಾನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. There are offices that are showing their displeasure at women getting up and going every now and then to do domestic work, because they say, had you been here, you would have worked here, so why don't you do it? So according to me, also a manifestation of inequality. See, whether she's at home or she's in the office, this work is hers anta agogide. So if you ask me, work at home in most cases has only upheld gender stereotypes. ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅನೇಕ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಲಿಂಗ ಸ್ಥಿರ ಮಾದರಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಪೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಒಂದು ವೈಭವೀಕರಿಸೋ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. You see, there are many people who are saying, okay, women are working, families are bonding, men are working. ಗಂಡಸರಿಗೆ ಕೆಲಸದ ಬೆಲೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು, ಮನೆ ಕೆಲಸದ್ದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. I'm happy if men have realized, men and boys and everybody has realized that housework is as important as any other work. But let us not glorify that. ಅದನ್ನ ವೈಭವೀಕರಿಸೋದು ಬೇಡ, because in a majority of the cases, women only are shouldering responsibility of housework, and work at home simply does not mean they are comfortable. Work at home ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರ ಆಯ್ಕೆನ ಅಥವಾ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸಂತೋಷ, ಬಟ್ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಆದಾಗ್ಲೂ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. Because work at home gives a kind of flexibility, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೊಂಥರ ಫ್ರೀ ಟೈಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಟು ಮೀ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಎ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪದನ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೇವಲ ಭೌತಿಕ ದೌರ್ಜನ್ಯ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟ್ರೀಟೆಡ್ ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್ violence as only physical violence. Even denial of opportunities, treating men and women unequally, and reinforcing gender stereotypes, they are also forms of violence. And now to those, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಫೋನ್ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರದೆಲ್ಲ? ತುಂಬಾ ಧ್ವನಿಗಳು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನಂದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರದ್ದು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಸೊ ಮುಂದುವರೆದು ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಯು ಸಿ ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, it has taken many unexpected forms. Recently, the United Nations, you see, population fund for population activities, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅದೇನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, they were talking about what will happen in the next 6 months to women. ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ದೇಶದ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, you see, I am quoting them, the prediction for gender related impact on women can be seen in nearly 7 million unplanned pregnancies, 31 million gender-based violence cases, and 47 million women losing access to contraception in the next 6 months. Andre, ee lockdown start admele, after COVID-19 pandemic broke out and they closed everything, what really happened was that women faced greater, insecurities, a large number of them. Ellaru alla, it is now a known fact that because men and young girls, young women, adolescents stayed at home, there were more pregnancies, as a result more childbirths, as a result more burden. And ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಿಷಯ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, another point that's coming to light now is the number of child marriages has increased. ಇದರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Social scientists, no use simply talking about it. Once this situation eases down and you're able to go and meet the people in the neighborhoods and communities, idr mele you have to work. Enu andre, you see, as long as girls are in school, Keralada udaharaneyane ನಾವು ಕೊಡಬಹುದಾದ್ರೆ, if we can give the example of Kerala, at least till they complete high school, if they are in school, if they are going to school every day, ಒಂದು mentally their horizons will widen. Avrige they get access to knowledge. The other thing is, early marriage does not take place. ಸಣ್ಣ ವಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ವಿವಾಹ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಡೆಯಲ್ಲ. But now, with all the schools having closed down, with all the schools shutting down because of this COVID, all students, and this is also applicable to male students, illa ant heltalla nanu, but now since we're talking about women, I am bringing this up. Now with more girls staying at home, idanna they are calling it temporary dropout anta. Temporarily they have dropped out of school, andre beku anta madde irbodu, but when the school closes, what can they do? But it is so happening that in many parts, it is happening a lot in Karnataka and around us, and maybe across the country, that child marriages, marriages of girls below the age of 18 is taking place. See, this is something that is unanticipated. This is something which people did not even think about. Early marriage anta naven karitive, adu ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿದೆ. That the early marriages have increased, and violence. All these women's commissions have been saying that they have been receiving more and more and more complaints of violence. Helpline, for example, women's helpline ge ಹೆಚ್ಚೆಚ್ಚ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯ ಕಾಲ್ಗಳು, distress ಕಾಲ್ಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್, ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಒಟ್ಟೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it exposes people to a lot of irritation. Psychologically also, it's kind of putting enormous pressure. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಈ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪದದ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ನಂದು ಒಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಮಗ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್. ಭೌತಿಕ ದೂರ ಬೇಕೇ ಹೊರತು ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ದೂರ ಬೇಡ. ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ದೂರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ ನಾವು? ಸಿ, so many of us are connected. Actually, physically we may be staying apart, but socially we are connected. But what is the impact of social distance on women? ನೀವು ಬಹಳ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, of course now the lockdown restrictions have been relaxed, so you see people at least being allowed to go for walks for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours. But you see, when you look at it from a woman's perspective, mahila drishtikonadinda nodidaga, many women who were homebound all the time in their lives. ಮನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಸೀಮಿತವಾದ ಬದುಕನ್ನ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದವ್ರಿಗೆ the opportunity to go into a public space, ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ವಲಯಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಪಡೆಯೋ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ, that itself gave them a kind of exposure to what was going on in the world outside. ಹೊರ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ, to meet their friends, ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರನ್ನ ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ, ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ it gave them an alternate space. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ವಿಮೆನ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ನೀಡ್ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸಸ್. ಪರ್ಯಾಯವಾದಂತ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕು ಬೆಳಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಟು ಗ್ರೋ, ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ, ಟು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಅಂತರ್ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ನಮಗ್ ಬೇಕು. We need what are called social networks to be able to lead meaningful life. ಅರ್ಥಪೂರ್ಣ ಬದುಕನ್ನ ನಡೆಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೀ ಹೆಂಗಸರಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಪುರುಷರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ಬೇಕು. So what we have done now is we have created a situation where these social networks bala shrink agogide. The social networks have shrunk enormously. And so for women, especially you look at it from a woman's perspective, you will see that even the few opportunities that women had to go out, to meet people, to talk, to listen, bari matadodalla kelskolodu nannu, to interchange ideas, avella nintu hogidrinda enaito, this is another form of violence. Idu kuda ದೈಹಿಕ ದೌರ್ಜನ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊಡೆತ ಬಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಾನು ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ದೆ. All helplines have now reported that violence against women has increased because ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇರೋದು. And now this brings me to another question, the economic angle. See, all of us know, because we come from different disciplines, but ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಒಂದು ಸತ್ಯ ಏನು, that India's women workforce, 75% of this is concentrated in informal sector. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರಮಿಕ ವರ್ಗ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋ ದುಡಿಯುವ ವರ್ಗ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರು ಸುಮಾರು 3/4 ಜನ ಎಲ್ಲಿರೋದು ಅಸಂಘಟಿತ ಅನೌಪಚಾರಿಕ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ. 75% of them are in informal unorganized sector of the economy. Now ಈ ತರದ್ದಾದಾಗ, when the pandemic breaks out, what happens? Many people are laid off. Laid off andre ಕೆಲಸದಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. Who are the ones who are losing those jobs in larger numbers? Always, all over the world idu. This is not something typically characteristic of India. ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೀಮಿತ ಆಗಿರೋದಲ್ಲ ಇದು. Across the world you see, ಒಂದು ಮಾತೇ ಇದೆ, women are the last to be hired. ಮಹಿಳೆಯರನ್ನ ಕೆಲ್ಸಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರ್ಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋವಾಗ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರ್ಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಫೈರ್ಡ್. ತೆಗಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ದ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ಡ್. ಯು ಸಿ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಮ್ ಆನ್ ಗಾರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಅಪ್ಯಾರಲ್ಸ್, ಸಿದ್ಧ ಉಡುಪುಗಳ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಆ ಸ್ಟಡಿ. ಯು ಸಿ, ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಬಾಂಗ್ಲಾದೇಶ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೆನಿ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಅ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಲೇಬರ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ಗಾರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಫಾರ್ ಲೈವ್ಲಿಹುಡ್. ಆ ಗಾರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆದಾಗ, when the garment industries closed down, several thousands of women lost their jobs. And ಏನಾಯ್ತು? They became dependent. You see, ಇವಾಗ when after globalization, a lot of opportunities opened up for women. ನಮಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ. ಜಾಗತೀಕರಣ, ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಉದಾರೀಕರಣದ ಯುಗ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅನೇಕ ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳು ಅವರಿಗೆ ತೆರೆದುಕೊಂಡ್ವು. Whether you go to a petrol pump or garment industry, malls, ಮತ್ತೆ hospitality industry, entertainment, manaranjana kshetra, everywhere you see a large number of women, different roles nalli. No longer you see, are we please, I think this is a very important point. One kelsa idén ಮಾಡ್ತು, the opening up of the economy created hundreds and hundreds of new jobs. ಮುಂಚೆ if you wanted to get a good job and good money, you had to join the state sector. Risky ilde iro kelsa andre government kelsa. But now no, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jobs. where a person with high school education, with not much of formal qualification could take up a job. But ಈಗೇನಾಯ್ತು, ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ ಪ್ಯಾಂಡಮಿಕ್ ಅದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹೊಡೆತ ಯಾತಕ್ ಬಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿತ್ತು. The biggest hit came for those industries and establishments where a large number of women were working. So they went back from a state of being employed, being able to earn, to a state of unemployment. ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ಇತ್ತು, ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಗಳಿಕೆ ಇತ್ತು, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋದ್ರು, ದೇ ವೆಂಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಅ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ನಿರುದ್ಯೋಗ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಪಾವರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಡತನದ ರೇಖೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಕಮ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪಾವರ್ಟಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್, ಪಾವರ್ಟಿ ಲೈನ್, because they had an opportunity to work and earn some money. But now that those jobs are taken off, those factories are closed, or those employment opportunities are all shut in, they have gone back into poverty. Lapsing back to poverty meaning ಬಡತನದ ಒಂದು ವಲಯ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅದರಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದವರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. those who came out of the poverty trap went back into the poverty circle because they had no earnings. Income generation hot hoytu avrige. You see, please remember that 40% of the households in India are female headed ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಹೆಡೆಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಅಧಿಕಾರದ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲ. ಹೆಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್, ಹೆಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮನೆ ಕುಟುಂಬ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ದೇ ವೇರ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಕೇವಲ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರ ಗಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದಾನೇ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದ್ದಂತ ಮನೆಗಳು, ಕುಟುಂಬಗಳು ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 40% ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ, ಅವ್ರ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಅನೇಕರು ಅನುತ್ಪಾದಕ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೂ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ದೇ ವೇರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಈವನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅನ್ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪರ್ಪಸಸ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲಿಸಮ್. When liquor sale was stopped, many people, addicted to liquor took it out on the women. Our mele situ tiskondu violence ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು. But when they started opening up again, alcoholism is one of the major contributors to violence, as all of us know. So there are many families where women are forced to work, earn and give money for promoting alcoholic addiction of men. ಅದು ನಿಂತು ಹೋದಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಆದಾಗ you see violence against women increased. So this is another thing we have to remember, that on the economic front, women suffered a lot. For those of us in the formal sector, we don't have this problem. ಸಂಘಟಿತ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡದ ಅಥವಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ನಮ್ಮಂಥವರಿಗೆ, whether there is holiday, whether there is close down or whatever, salaries and whatever we get, we are ensured. For those who have to work, earn and live, what is the challenge? ಏನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸವಾಲು ಈ ಬದುಕಲ್ಲಿ ಎದುರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. where will they get food in the first place? So our informal sector workers ಬಗ್ಗೆ we have to talk, we have to think about that. Lastly, I will end my talk with saying what we could do for them another, and I want to speak for 2-3 minutes. So one, on the economic front, violence has increased. ಹೊಡಿದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬಡಿದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ದೈಹಿಕ ದೌರ್ಜನ್ಯ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. You see, the system itself is doing violence against them. And you are talking so much about migration. ದಿನ migration ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. But among the group of people who are either going back to their homeland as in ಅವರ ಮೂಲ ಸ್ಥಾನ ಯಾವ್ದಿದೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋರಿಗೆ, have we looked at it from a gender angle? Migration ಅನ್ನು gender angle ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. Because a question, ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ, what will these women do when they go back? ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆರ್ಥಿಕವಾಗಿ they don't have any support. How will they fend for themselves? How will they support their families? ಅದಕ್ಕೆನೇ ಈ ತರ ಪ್ಯಾಂಡಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆದಾಗ we are now starting to say it should have a gender dimension. ಮಹಿಳಾ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ, ಲಿಂಗ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕು. I'll give you one example. You see, ಅದು ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಕೆಲಾಮಿಟಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ human induced calamity irbodu. It can be a natural calamity or human induced calamity, but the impact is differentially felt. You know, when tsunami happened, dashakakku hinda agiddadu, but you know, look at the fishing communities that were living on the shores of the seas. In many of these fishing communities, enaito, the men had all gone out for fishing in the morning. And when tsunami hit, they were all gone. So even today, it's not uncommon to find in many places only households and with women and children. They were left all for themselves to fend. Avrna bitru andre yen ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? The men didn't come back because tsunami, you know, took their lives. So think of this. ಈಗ COVID may not select ಇದು ಗಂಡಸರು ಇವ್ರು ಹೆಂಗಸರು. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, more men than women have died ಅಂತ. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು we have to see it from a very ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ, ಬಯೋಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಇದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಕಡಿಮೆ ಹೆಂಗಸರು ಸಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವನ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ as simple as that. See, women's immunity system is supposed to be very powerful. So, a flood ಅಥವಾ tsunami-ನೋ ಅಥವಾ COVID-19 may not make the choice. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗಂಡಸರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗಸರು ಅಂತ ಅದು ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. But who suffers the impact depends upon gender, class, location, etc. Look at Mumbai, for example. No, Mumbai's population is very diverse. ಯಾರು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್, ಯಾರನ್ನ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. See, those who live in a slum like Dharavi and those who live in 20th floor apartments, ಅವರೆರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 20 ಇಂಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಇಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 20 ಫ್ಲೋರ್ಸ್ ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ರಿಚ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಲಿವ್ ಇನ್ ಎ 20-story house, but there are also 20 people living under one thatched roof. ಅದು ಇದೆ, ಇದು ಇದೆ. So, and inequality always hits women harder. You understand that? We have to understand that ಅಸಮಾನತೆ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಬಲವಾಗಿ ಹೊಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ you know, there are, for example, I'll just talk about LGBT a little later. So what I was saying is, ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ briefly I said, because in rebuilding the lives after pandemic, we have to be very careful to see that all girls are brought back to school. ಏನಾದ್ರೂ if we don't, you know, follow up on that, ಹೆಣ್ಣುಮಕ್ಕಳು ಶಾಲೆಯಿಂದ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ದೂರ ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಹಾಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, without tracking them, without following them up, child marriages will increase, you know, early pregnancies and childbirths will increase. So please, let's all make it a commitment that in our own small circles, you know, we are going to see that we will follow up and see that, you see, hello, we will see that, hello, we should see that all girls are back in school. And the other thing is health. It's a very important issue. You see, in India, a lot of healthcare facilities are privately managed. ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ನ ನಡುವೆ ನಾವು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್, ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್. Now after the economic liberalization era, both have gone a lot into the private domain. ಮಧ್ಯಮ ವರ್ಗಕ್ಕೆ ಖಾಸಗಿ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇನ್ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗದೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಪೂರ್, ದ ವಲ್ನರಬಲ್, ದ ಮಾರ್ಜಿನಲೈಸ್ಡ್? ಅವರು ದೇ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಡ್ ಆನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. So what happened in India in the last 15 years, even before COVID came, whatever COVID or no COVID, state spending on health has decreased. ರಾಜ್ಯ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಮೇಲೆ ವ್ಯಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವ ಹಣ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ತೀರಾ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ ಡೌನ್ ಟು 1 to 2%. As a result, the greatest sufferers are women, because they can't afford private healthcare, not even men for that matter. But women's health is always, in a very delicate kind of a space. So ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಎಂಥ ಒಂದು ಆಘಾತ ಆಗಿದೆ ಇವಾಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, a lot of the state's money is being taken up on COVID management. ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಯಾವ ತರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಕೋವಿಡ್ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಗೆ ಅವರಿಂದ ತುಂಬಾ ಹಣ ಖರ್ಚಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಬಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ದಿಸ್ ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ದಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಟು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಸಿವಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್. ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಟು ಈವನ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ ಬೀನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್. ಸೊ ಆನ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ದಟ್ because state spending on healthcare has enormously reduced, women's health status is also severely affected. So take any field, health, education, and safety, both within and outside the home. Outside kadme agirbodu, because everybody is in a certain place, but within the family, violence has definitely increased. These are some of the manifestations of violence against women as a consequence of the pandemic. Now let me go to the other second part of my talk, because I think I'll have to close it. There's another section. There's some questions coming up. Please ask me once I'm done. I'll definitely respond. The other thing is, okay, what do we do now? Yakandre now yavaglu problems ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, we complain about what is happening. But what can we do? ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಇವಾಗ ಏನನ್ನಾದ್ರೂ? If you want to remove, if you want to remove women from the violence zone, ದೌರ್ಜನ್ಯದ ವಲಯದಿಂದ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರನ್ನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ತರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಮುಕ್ತ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? For everything we look towards the state. I think the state is under severe pressure. ರಾಜ್ಯ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ, ಆಡಳಿತ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಬಹಳ ಒತ್ತಡದಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. There are a few positive things, there are negative things that we can talk about. But policy from the state, what we are expecting and what they need to do is have a policy. A policy athwa neetiya uddesha enu gotta, they should rebuild their lives. I was part of a webinar where we talked about revisiting development anta. That is the word they are using. ಹೊಸದೇನಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಅದು. ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನ ಹೊಸ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನದಿಂದ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. You have to look at development itself from a new perspective now, not just in terms of growth. ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ. Now the thrust is on what I call rebuilding lives. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದಾರ ಬದುಕನ್ನ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಮರು ಕಟ್ಟುವತ್ತ ನಾವು ಗಮನ ಹರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾವೇನ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. Maybe I've not been able to go here and there and from that place to this place. But what about those people, who are walking, who are going on train tracks, being run over by trains, ಊಟ ಇದೆ ಸಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಶ್ರಮಿಕ್ ಟ್ರೈನ್ಸ್, ಅದ್ರೊಳಗಡೆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತು. At least the state has done that much. I'm not commenting on that, but so Now, the change, the policy should aim at rebuilding the lives of people. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹ್ಯೂಮನಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಮಾನವೀಯತೆಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಆಲ್ ಐ ವುಡ್ ಸೇ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಆಡಿಯೋ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಮೀ? ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಹಿಯರ್ ಮೀ? ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ
Hello, madam. We can hear you.
ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಬಂತು ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ನೋ ಆಡಿಯೋ ಅಂತ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಇದಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಬಂತು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 5-6 minutes. ಒಂದು, as I said, rebuilding the lives of people. State policy must have three aspects. ರಾಜ್ಯ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ತನ್ನ ನೀತಿಗೆ 3 dimensions ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು. One is the short term policy. Immediately what has to be done? Prioritize ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. We have to prioritize, this area needs this, some other area needs that, some other community or neighborhood needs that. So there are short term actions, middle term actions, long term actions. What those are, I think most of us here are from the academic line. We are either teachers or students or research scholars, or some are academic activists or activists. We are a diverse group of people here. The least that we can do, because I also want to say naven madbodu anta, the least that we can do is, one, now I am coming to civil society. State policy ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, funds allocate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇರೋ facilities na sariyagi use ಆಗಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. But what about the people? See, I think especially when you are talking of women, what you have to do is at the neighborhood level. When I use the word community, I mean at the neighborhood level, we should set up alternate places for many women to go. ಮನೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ violence ಎದುರಿಸೋ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ, they continue to experience violence because they have nowhere to go. ಇದನ್ನ ಕೆಲವು ಕಡೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ they have attempted. You see, an alternate space in the community. There are so many such spaces which are not being used. So at the initiative of the community, samudaya asakti vaisodra mulaka, we can make those spaces available to women. Not just food kododu vandu. The other thing is where, they can come, spend their time, meet people, talk, and develop skills. It's very important. I said repeatedly, people who have lost their jobs, people who are without any source of income, ಅವ್ರಿಗಿರೋ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳು ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಂತ ಕೆಲಸ ಸಮುದಾಯದ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು. Colleges can do that, departments can do that, community halls can do that. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರ ಕೈಲಿ ಏನೇನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ in a small way, we have to contribute. Otherwise, you see, this situation will not change, because now I think I can say one thing: we have to learn to live with this. ಇದು ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನ್ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾಳೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಾಡಿದ್ದಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅದು. We cannot take a holiday from action, as I call it. ನಾವು ಈಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? How do we management and being careful? You have to manage the pandemic, not run away from that. Aitu, we have been safe, we have done lockdown, namgenu hech effect madlilla. But as I said, what about all those people whose livelihoods and lives have been lost? Lives loss agde hodru, livelihoods hortogide. Jeevana hogilde irbodu, jeevanadharagalu hortogide. Lives may be there, but livelihoods are lost. So all I would say is, think of all these. Just because somebody stays at home, some women stay at home, women are safe. ಆ ಒಂದು ಮಿಥ್ಯಗಳಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರೋಣ. Let's come out of to find their ways. So I would end by saying that you have to look at the pandemic from the angle of different groups. Ivaga among gender and tashna you talk only of male and female, but what about the LGBT community? ಲೈಂಗಿಕ ಅಲ್ಪಸಂಖ್ಯಾತರು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಯಾರನ್ನ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅವ್ರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನದಿಂದ ನೋಡಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? A large number of them who are literally, who have to fend for their life in the streets. They bore the prejudice of the society with or without COVID. COVID ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ, ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಪೂರ್ವಾಗ್ರಹಗಳಿಗೆ ಬಲಿಯಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದವರು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರೇನೆ. But now look at their situations. So a sensitive human mind, and a heart that is large to share whatever advantages we have got with those that don't have those advantages is what is required. And so women ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ ಕೆಲವು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಹಂಗಂದ್ರೆ I have been come across question, ರೋಲ್ ರಿವರ್ಸಲ್ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತಾ ಕುಟುಂಬಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಪಾತ್ರಗಳು ಬುಡಮೇಲೆ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ. Because we always say that women do all the housework, they take the responsibility. ಇದು ರೋಲ್ ರಿವರ್ಸಲ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸಂತೋಷ. What I would say is, whoever may be doing the housework, whether it is a man or a woman or a young person, it doesn't matter. ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. What matters is we have to learn to realize that all work that women do at home is also part of what we are today calling sustainable development. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಮಿಲೆನಿಯಂ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೋಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೋಲ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. We have moved from MDG to sustainable development, SDG ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. What is sustainable development without all the work that they do? So empowerment, or next ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ರಾಜೇಶ್ ಅವರು, but to me empowerment is a matter of choice, respecting people's choices, respecting what they can do, and understand that it is important. ನಾವು ಮಿಥ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ಲಿ ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವ್ರ ಮನೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರ ತಿಂಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಲಿಟಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ವೈಭವೀಕರಿಸೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಐ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಲಿಟ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಸಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಡಿಡ್, men or whoever, rich people or boys or girls. But what I'm saying is we have to have a very serious, comprehensive approach. Thank you very much. And it was nice being part of this and talking to all of you. I don't know how much time there is for question, but I will be happy to take questions.